It has been a year and a half now that we have been pouring a ton of time and energy into our YouTube channel. And thanks to you guys, we're about to hit 40,000 subscribers. We wanted to use this video to recap and relive a lot of the highlights that we've had as we built the channel. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this, and there's probably some things in this archive that you didn't know about. So if you watch, we're gonna open your eyes to a lot of interesting things that we've managed to do in the last year and a half. For those of you guys who have joined us on the journey, who have thanked us in person and offered your feedback and excitement around what we're trying to build here, thank you from both myself and Michael, who's behind that camera, and Nick, who's behind that camera. In this year and a half, guys, we have produced and put together 179 videos. And a lot of you know Treehouse Brewing Company as a brewery. And hopefully on the channel, we've illustrated that not only is Treehouse Brewing Company a lot more than a brewery, but our channel is a lot more than just beer. We share insight on our pizza program, our seltzer, our distilled spirits, our coffee, our golf course, and we've got a lot of other things in store. So I wanted to take a minute to thank you guys, make this video, and just run through a lot of our favorites and highlights over the past year and a half, as we're about to hit 3 million views on the channel. First thing I want to talk about are the videos that got really popular. You never really know when you're making a video which one's going to work, but the one that certainly has led the pack from the very beginning is the Bud versus Miller versus Coors Light tasting. If this was our beer, I was going to be offended by it. A lot of interesting things about that video. One interesting thing is that it was Nick's first experience behind the camera, and we still give him a hard time to this day about how aggressive he was on the slider. So if you watch that video and you get seasick, we've since learned that sliders should be really delicate and gentle. That video is interesting for a lot of reasons. It's longer than most of the videos that we make. Kind of had two parts where we tasted the Bud, the Miller, and the Coors in the front part, and then we had kind of a twist at the end.
3 more beers.
3 more.
Turn around, real quick.
Okay. As if this wasn't hard enough. Okay. Analytically, in terms of the amount of people that click on the video and how long they watch it, it's not even close to our best performing. But for some reason, that video just hits with people and they continue to watch it like crazy. I'll link that in the first comment down below. If you haven't seen it, do us a favor and check it out. There's a lot of videos in the same vein as that video that have also performed well. Miller High Life, Coors Banquet, and PBR video, super well. That has over 100,000 views. In terms of the first two samples, they almost look identical to me in color. This one might be a little bit darker. Corona versus Modelo versus Dos Equis. I'm gonna try these beers, I'm gonna have some fun, and I'm gonna let you know what I think. I'm sorry. And here it's kind of overwhelming. This almost smells like hard cider. Which was actually, interestingly enough, that video was the first video, and it was Michael's idea where we did this kind of blind macro tasting, and it didn't really do well. It had modest views similar to many of our other videos, and it wasn't until the Bud Miller Coors video was posted that that video kind of rode on its coattails, and now just recently it actually crossed 100,000 views. Oh, that's nice. Things are going really well on the blind tasting front with our videos. Also doing well, the 36 worst beers. Coors Light.
You know, trucking Coors beer east of Texas is bootlegging.
Classic American light lager, pretty well made. It's definitely not the most terrible beer ever, so beer number 1, I disagree with. This hat's not doing it for me. I'm switching back. It turns out a lot of people enjoy hearing my thoughts on what I think constitutes a good beer and a not so good beer, which is nice to know. I mean, no. The original Fat Tire Amber Ale was unmesswithable. So, wrong. I think doing more of that content in the future is what we're going to focus a lot of our energy on. I do have a lot of thoughts in terms of the craft beer market, the beer market, and the beverage market in general. And every time an opinion person in the news puts out an article about, is hazy IPA killing craft beer? Are these the worst beers? Are these the best beers? I actually always have a very strong opinion on that. And I think as we get mature on the channel, I'm going to start to feel more comfortable sharing strong opinions which are loosely held. Strong opinions loosely held, though. That's the thing that is You got to be willing to change your mind. And putting these thoughts out into the world might align those thoughts with me in perpetuity, which I don't necessarily want because I change my mind all the time.
You put my brain in a pretzel there. All right, moving on.
Our goal at Treehouse is not only to get people excited about what we're doing, but to get people excited about the craft of making interesting beverages as a whole. That's the reason this channel exists, and that's hopefully the reason that you're watching. We've had a couple of videos where when we made them, we were 1,000% sure they were going to be the next Mr. Beast video. They were going to be so popular that everyone was going to share them. They were going to go viral, and people were going to post their own versions of the same video. And that did not happen. The primary one that Michael, Nick, and I often talk about is the elusive can stack challenge. The world record can stack is 38 cans high, and in this video, we're going to attempt to beat it. We thought we were going to put this video online, can stack challenge, and Legs, as he's affectionately known, who's an employee here at Treehouse in the maintenance department, and I tried our best to stack cans, and we thought other breweries, other influencers, other YouTubers were going to see this and be like, oh man, I can stack more than that, and it was going to become this whole thing. And who knows? Maybe you'll watch this video and the can stack challenge will finally see its moment in the sun. I thought the video was charming. It was edited really tightly. It wasn't that long of a watch. I thought we stacked them higher than maybe we anticipated. It required us thinking up clever ideas in terms of how to stack it higher. Had all the makings of a YouTube video that was watched like 10 million times. And as of this video right now, it's been viewed 4,100 times. And it never did. Michael's dying. This was Michael. He thought this was the one. For one reason or another, it did not resonate with the masses.
Whoa.
The best videos aren't always the videos that get viewed the most. It's not a perfect indicator. So for me, there's a lot of videos on the channel that I really love. All of the original travel videos from 2023, where myself and the group went to New Zealand and Australia, are great. They're some of the least viewed videos on the channel. Some examples of those videos are Galaxy Hop Journey Part 1, a journey to discover the elusive Galaxy Hop, an Australian hop experience, hop hunting in New Zealand, epic scenery and hidden gems. I mean, we worked hard to get drone footage and to narrate and to take you guys along for the journey. I wanted to include this part of the trip as it sort of speaks to the way that I think about our work at Treehouse and how we look for inspiration anywhere around us. And maybe it's selfish as a memory, but when I watch those videos, they feel like the most important pieces of archival history that make Treehouse who we are and best represent to the world what we're trying to do in terms of crafting the very best beer that we possibly can. So any of those travel videos from 2023 and even from 2024, there's one where we visited Ross, a home brewer in New Zealand.
Right. Nice.
Cheers. Cheers. I'd like to have you guys try it. You've done a nice job with that particular beer.
Appreciate it.
We visited a New Zealand maltster. Treehouse is the only American brewery to currently import their grain. We got to meet them on a first name basis in their homeland. We got to meet Chem Eggers at Eggers Hops. We visited Freestyle Hops. All that content is either on the channel or being edited to become on the channel. So if you haven't seen it, dig deep into the archive and check that out. Just a few more before we move on in that mindset, guys. There's one video that came about kind of organically. It's made for my father. Father is a avid fly fisherman who was diagnosed in his retirement with Parkinson's disease. We make a beer called Old Man that honors the idea that a day on the river is one of the best things that you can possibly do. And a portion of the proceeds from each batch do go to the Michael J. Fox Foundation in an effort to hopefully contribute to finding a cure for Parkinson's. It's a short one, it's a sweet one, but it's one of my favorite videos that we have produced on the channel. There's a video about the farm and fermentery on the channel. That video actually did really well, but if you haven't seen it and you haven't visited the farm, I would strongly encourage you to check it out. A few more of my personal favorites. There's one video on the channel called What We Love About Craft Beer. I think I concisely articulate what we love about craft beer, and I think it's really relevant to what we do at Treehouse, so if you haven't seen that one, check it out. There's a video, somewhat unrelated, on island-style lager.
I'm an island boy. Hey, big shout out to the House Brewing Company. They're the best company ever.
And I just thought the whole thing was fun and interesting, and I'm somewhat surprised that that one didn't get roped up in the Bud Miller Coors Zeitgeist and kind of run to the moon, so to speak.
Can you guess what beer that is?
God, when I scroll through this, there's so many great videos. The inspiration for 2 hazy IPAs where we drank Harmony at Mount Cook in New Zealand that was like 3 days old. We had to hike like 7 miles in, 7 miles out to have this scenic vista. And when I watch it back, I can't believe that we actually made that happen. All of the vistas in the previous New Zealand trip were all amazing. Michael brought the slider, so we have this high production value in these scenes in New Zealand. The amount of energy that went into it was intense. We made our way up to totality, got to experience the eclipse with a Julius in hand. That was another video that was really awesome. Cody, our photographer, got in a helicopter to photograph a 19.2 ounce Julius can flying above Gillette. And to this day, I think most of Instagram thinks that that picture was generated by AI or done with a backdrop, and it was actually a real photograph. So if you haven't seen the video and the helicopter flight behind that, make sure that you check it out.
Time to try to throw your legs out? Well, this is crazy.
The channel defies description. We do blind tastings, we do brewery tours, provide production insight, home brewing insights, we do travel for ingredient sourcing. Another thing that we do on the channel that we're trying to build is called Sessions at Treehouse. So because we have these touring acts come through, we offer our services to produce a video for them. We've had Jeff Tweedy perform for Treehouse. We've had Martin Sexton perform. We've got videos in the queue from Michael Franti, Amos Lee, and we actually have 6 Wilco performances that we're gonna edit and produce and release on the channel in the coming days. So if you're fans of indie music in general or any of those artists, definitely get subscribed because we have those things coming forward. We love doing giveaways on the channel.
Campbell. Brian Campbell, 4417. Brian.
I promise you the giveaways are going to get bigger and better. 50,000 and 100,000 are probably going to be like, are you kidding me, Treehouse? You're really giving that away. We do something called Beers of the Moment where we taste through the beers that at Treehouse that we've made that we're really excited about. We also include our coffee and distilled products, sometimes our non-alcoholic seltzers in those videos. All right, friends, so before we wrap, one thing that I do want to mention is that your comments and feedback are super valuable to us. If you haven't noticed, we do derive a lot of our video ideas from your feedback and from your comments. I do know that we have a lot of people that aren't logged into YouTube, that aren't subscribers that watch the videos. It's actually really easy to get subscribed and to leave a comment, and once you do, we can help to grow the community and we can help to increase our reach so that, you know, the thing that we love so much, craft beer and craft beverages, can continue to flourish and grow. I want to thank you guys for watching today. Live and drink well. See you next time.